Hey folks, got a test for you today. You are speaking to me as your plant manager. I look smarter with my glasses on, right? You're trying to sell me one of two options. Option number one, we can upgrade our production mill for $100,000. The results from increased sales, from changeover reduction time and new products that this $100,000 will open up for us will be $50,000 per year in profit. $50,000 per year in profit. So the summary is you invest $100,000 up front, $50,000 a year going forward indefinitely in savings. So simple math, you say $50,000 a year times 5 years. Let's use 5 years as a benchmark here. That's $250,000 of savings minus $100,000 investment. Roughly $150,000 in impact from that change. This ignores the time impact of money. Just humor me on this, you finance people. I'm speaking to production and maintenance folks. Round numbers, I'm pretty darn close. $150,000 positive impact after 5 years, $50,000 a year once you make the investments. Proven technology, the design is in place in other factories, so pretty low risk there. So that's option one, new equipment. Option number two, we can improve our reliability by going from 100% reactive maintenance to 10% reactive maintenance through well-known, established best practices. We currently have 22% unplanned downtime on our production mills. We're projecting we can be at 5% unplanned downtime in 3 years. That's worth $1 million a year if we can be at that 5%. Big number. This is simplified, obviously. You're going to get some ramped up savings, and you won't get $1 million in the first year, but you may get 100,000. But hey, assume we're going to ramp up, or we're going to invest the savings the first 3 years, and then at year 3, we're going to be cashing in. So $1 million a year impact. For simplicity, I can go into more detail if you'd like. I've got a lot of experience doing this. The enablers for this best practice deployment is you hire a consultant, you train everyone on best practices, planning and scheduling, for example. You modify the best practices to fit your assets. You've got to make it your asset naming conventions fit and train everybody on those things. You've got to hire for some new roles like, planners. You're not doing any planning now. Maybe have some reliability engineers help you with your problem solving. You got to get your CMMS system right. Yeah, that means you got to get your assets in there, train everybody on how to use it, do work control, all those things that are part of reliability best practices, which are good and proven. You got to audit and you got to coach individuals on your team. Some team members are going to excel, some aren't, and you're going to try to get everybody on board. Some aren't going to get on board. You're going to have to do some other hiring. You may, or you will, most likely have to hire contractors to execute the backlog of work because you're pretty busy in maintenance right now. How are you going to get this mountain of new work, this mountain of proactive work completed when you're consumed by reactive work? So you got to do it with overtime, you got to do it with contractors, you got to do it somehow. There's a tsunami of work that needs to happen to get to a place where you can start to reduce cost, and we're projecting 3 years. But you have to sustain this effort, this culture change, this process change for at least 3 years with no regression. Any pause you have, any stop, any business cycle, any leadership change that stops this process, you actually go back to square zero. You do not pause reliability effort. You go back to spot zero if you're lucky. If you're lucky, you just go back to zero. The upfront charge for this is about $1 million, and that $1 million includes contractor and a consultant. So contractor to help with the backlog, consultant to help with the process. The prize in year 4 is $1 million profit off the new sales from being at that 5% unplanned downtime. Now you did hire some people. You've hired 3 more people to the organization at $100,000 each, so $300,000. So your net impact a year is $700,000 a year. Not too bad. So in year 5, you're going to have $1.4 million. Remember, you're only going to get 2 years of savings because you're investing through year 3. So year 4, year 5, You get $700,000 a year, 1.4 million from an investment of 1 million, so 400,000 positive. Okay, which option does the plant manager select? Option 1, upgrade equipment, $50,000 a year positive profit. Option 2, deploy reliability best practices, $400,000 a year positive impact. This is Joe Kuhn of Lean Driven Reliability, bridging the gap between best practices that you know you should be doing and the culture that you live in every day. Okay, let's look at these through the eyes of a plant manager. Let's say me. Option number 1, this is the upgrade equipment. Proven technology. It's not dependent on culture, okay? There's no culture dependent results. It's not dependent on people. I hate to be that crass, but that's true. It's just technology you're putting in. The results are not impacted by business cycles. You know, we can't put a pause on this new equipment. We already got it in place. We can run it to new speeds, new changeovers, and new quality specs. So it's business cycles don't affect it. You break even with 2 years, rapid return, very low risk in attaining the business case. This is a slam dunk, as we would say here in the Midwest. This will happen. Spend $100,000, you will get $50,000 a year. Option 2, let's deploy reliability and maintenance best practices. Again, proven process. It works. It works. Process changes in culture must be sustained through transition to the new culture and permanently. So we are committed to this for the next 30 years or the life of our plant. Business cycles, unrelated to this plant, unrelated to, this change, will destroy progress, okay? And you'll be lucky to revert back to zero. Very large upfront cost, ongoing costs go up. Some successful companies can pull this off in 3 to 5 years. So we put 3, that's pretty aggressive. Most take 10 to 20 to 30 years. If you talk to people that have been in the industry and what has it taken, it's a career journey. And probably the most telling for this case is 95% of people are going to fail. So if you are successful, it's potentially you can do it in 3 to 5 years. Most take a lot longer, and 9.5 out of 10 people fail. Sorry to say that. There's no contest of what a plant manager is going to select. Very low risk, fast results, and the results during my tenure as a plant manager. I'm only going to be the plant manager for 3 to 5, 6 years. This looks like it's going to happen during my time as plant manager and something I can control. Why does option 2 fail? Nearly every culture change effort dies from sponsorship. Non-sustained sponsorship. Everybody's excited up front, excited on day 1, excited for the rollout. Front costs grow, the bow wave of spending grows as you get the assets in shape, the business cycle drops off 25%, got to tighten your belt. Sponsorship is why these efforts die. So we got to address sponsorship if you're going to do anything in the reliability and maintenance space. Just case closed. Sponsorship is the issue. It's not learning new tools. It's not deploying best practices. It's sponsorship, and you need to understand that, folks. That's very clear. I hated this answer. I hated the answer of always selecting option 1. I have an extensive production background. Hey, business success is business success. Production results are production results. Hey, I love all that. But I hated leaving on the table reliability and maintenance best practices. So I was frustrated with it. It bothered me as a leader, and bothered me as a mechanical engineer. Let me give you a third option. All right, gosh, let's make life easier. Let's pick something that works, that solves. Combine lean practices, which I have an extensive background in lean, with reliability best practices. As many of you know, I'm a CMRP and have an extensive background in reliability. Number 1, adapt a waste focus. Every reliability tool is targeting waste. Every one of them. You need to understand that. Upfront investment is minimal, and if you do hire a consultant, those expenses of a consultant will be paid for in month 2 and month 3. So maybe they delay a quarter your results, 3 months, but you pay as you go with this waste focus. You must know the actual waste in your plant. You're not just deploying best practices, hoping it reduces waste in your plant. You're surgically applying best practice tools, simple tools, to the waste that's in your plant, get immediate results. Let me give you some examples. I got 7 of them, okay? These are things I actually did. Assign 2 people to planned work from a 12-person crew. 12-person crew doing 100% reactive, take 2 of them out and say you need plant manager approval to have these people work on reactive maintenance, and you put them on planned maintenance. Assign 1 of 20 mechanics to be a kit or stager to increase your wrench time from 15% to 30% within weeks. Number 3, set the planner expectation to anticipate wrench time detractors. It's their job to set the high bar for what wrench time is going to be. It's their job. A lot of people have this confused and think it's solely the responsibility of the supervisor. No, the planner sets them up. You can get a 10% increase in wrench time, which is 10% increased efficiency to work on planned work, folks. Okay, number 4. Jobs planned to the hour, not in 4 or 8 hour increments. Many planners, what they do is they put in the work, say it takes an hour, and then they put in a guess of what discovery work is going to be. They may find something they have to fix, they may not. And what you find in practice is 80 to 90% of the time they don't find any discovery work. So you plan the job for 4 hours and it actually only took 1, 90% of the time. Make it 1 and then handle the discovery work as a decision point by the leadership team. So plan jobs to the hour. Huge impact on resources, number of resources you have. PDM crew. You cannot pull the PDM crew into reactive maintenance without plant manager approval. Huge impact. You got to leverage the results to efficiency when you find a problem early on the PDF curve versus find it in final failure. Got to leverage that. Implement a TPM tagging system where operators highlight problems that they're having with the equipment. At one plant, 50% of the failures had early signs of failure 2, 3, 4 weeks ahead of time, and we let them go to final failure. Get the operators involved. Number 7, I think I'm on the last one. Operator errors at this one plant, abuse of the machine beyond the design specs, were 50% of the failures. I think it was actually 52%. Get the maintenance people involved in training new hires so that they avoid these problems that, where they're trying to preserve production and they actually take the equipment out and have more downtime, less production. So get the maintenance people, give them an hour or 2 hours to say, here's how this equipment fails. Easy answer, 0 cost to implement. Apply the savings that you make in these 7 steps, not 7 steps, these are just 7 examples, sorry. To invest in best practices, maybe go down some of the traditional path of, like I talked about in option 2, but you pay for things as you go. Find the waste first, attack the waste, bring the best practices along after you've gotten substantial savings. So this is perfectly in line with best practices, what I'm talking about, lean-driven reliability. Results, I've seen easy. This is a low ball result, is 10% reduction in R&M expenses in year 1. 10%. Pretty easy to attain that. I saw, the lowest I ever saw was 10% improvement to a 29% increase in production capabilities. 29%. Huge. That was all in year 1. That was a great example. You should probably be expecting more in the 10% range. But depending on your site, just to throw out some numbers, and I worked at some big facilities where their maintenance budget was in the millions of dollars. I've seen $500,000 a year in savings, and one plant was at $9 million. That was a run rate. $9 million reduction was a run rate after 1 year. A waste focus, folks, is the key. It's motivational. It's simple, it's clear, it aligns the entire organization. There's no big words, no acronyms, no language to speak. okay? Don't know that only a few know, and that you have to go to school to learn. Solid sponsorship. Remember what kills change efforts? Sponsorship. Rapid change, rapid results. Everybody's excited. What happens to a waste reduction mindset during bad economic times? It accelerates. So this is recession proof. A waste mindset. You accelerate during bad times. You go hard during good times. You don't have the sponsorship problem you have with other culture change. It's sustainable, absolutely sustainable in all times with all leadership. Okay, it took me 34 years, folks, to accumulate the knowledge that I'm giving away here in 141 videos. I'm giving it away. I deal with 10 to 15 people a week personally through email, through phone calls, through comments. It's higher than that, but I'm giving it away. Don't relearn my lessons in 34 years. You can get it here for free. You can get it in my book for $14.99. I'm not making much profit off those. I price that extremely low compared to other R&M books because I want this to get out there and be accessible to the masses. Please learn from this journey, for your family, for your community, for your plant. I mean, you don't have to live this hard, reactive life as a maintenance professional. You don't need to be on call 24/7. There is a better life. Imagine your life if you went from 22% unplanned downtime on equipment, if you're 365 operation, down to 5%. You can go on those camping trips. You can coach that baseball team. Okay, folks, begin your journey. This stuff isn't that hard. There is an answer to changing a culture, okay, in reliability. There is an answer that solves the riddle of sponsorship. Folks, it's Lean Driven Reliability. This is Joe out.